Hello and welcome to Boomer 11 Live. And today we are here to talk about a game which just got over. Thanks to them, we are here to talk to you very early. They've left us off very early. It's like those kids being very happy at school, but we are not definitely not happy. We want a complete game of cricket and just felt like schoolboys playing today, isn't it? Yeah, no, that's being critical of them, and we have to be today, of course. It was Punjab who batted first against Delhi Capitals. Of course, this game had a lot of doubt over it because of Delhi's camp affected by COVID heavily. But then it just looked like Punjab camp was more worried about it, and Punjab just got decimated for 115. And Delhi just had a stroll in the park, chasing it down with 9 wickets in hand. I have an entire panel to join me: Nikhil, Jones, and Sandeepani. Welcome all on the show. Let's get right into this and let's talk about what went wrong for Punjab. Nikhil, getting to you. Nikhil, do you reckon this Punjab's approach has really backfired now? Because it's not the first time we have talked about it, even before in our lives, that how far can they sustain with this approach? And today there were some real tactical blunders, isn't it? Removing Odean Smith, bringing in Nathan Ellens, and also weakening the batting order where Rabada came to bat at number 7. What did you make of that approach?
I think they should have just given 2 points at the toss to Delhi and said that sorry for your state. Here is the 2 points. Go. We are not interested to play today because they genuinely did not turn up. I mean, to have a side playing such cricket in this time and age with so much data and analysis, it is atrocious. Right from their change, their problem has been batting.
Yeah.
Kakis Rabada is batting at 7, and he's coming into bat in the 15th, 16th over almost every game. So your batting is the problem. And what do? You remove the batting all-rounder and you put in a overseas pacer. But what is your problem? The problem has been batting. Fix your batting. But you get in a
Right.
pacer. Okay, understandable. Okay, okay. You want extra bowling option. You have a horrible day with the bat. Still understandable. It's okay. Happens with sides. But you've seen Delhi, you spin. How bad you are a side that Lalit Yadav is bowling in the death overs, and still you are not able to understand that the pitch doesn't need pacers. You have to go to spin earlier. And I can still understand Vaibhav and Kagiso bowling the first 2 overs. But after that, where is the logic? Where is the common sense to not bring in Rahul Chase? It's not that Rahul is not bowled in the power play. You could even bring in Liam Livingstone from the other end. But it's just we will go like this only, and that is I think that's costing them the game. Whatever games it has, both with bat and ball. That we will bat only one way. England also did that, but England found a way to adapt. England had a Joe Root, England had a Morgan, they had a Ben Stokes, they had the people to pull it off. You cannot expect a Jitesh Sharma to do a role what somebody else is going to do. You need both. And the one guy who was scoring runs is dropped. Rajapaksa is not playing. It is still fair that okay, you took him for a better, bigger name in Bairstow, but there has to be course correction that okay, you remove Odean Smith, get in Rajapaksha back, bolster your batting. The batting is the problem and not your bowling.
Right. Absolutely. Very good take over there. Coming to you, Jones. You reckon that they've now very reliant on some of their top 4 batsmen, because now if you look, the lower order, for example, the likes of Shah Rukh Khan, who they have absolutely invested heavily upon, has not been delivering. And in an IPL team, number 6 position is such a big position because most of the best teams, if you look over the years, have had a very strong or prominent number 6 who have enabled them to finish games of quite consistently. Now, if you look, Ditesh Sharma has come onto the party pretty well. He has done consistently well by scoring those 30s and 25s in almost every match. Now is it time for them to look beyond Shah Rukh Khan, saying that, okay, Shah Rukh, you just take a break for a couple games. Let's bring in Rajapaksha. We'll bring in someone like Rishi Dhawan instead of Nathan Ellis, which will make their batting a little more stable. At the same time, that they have a better batting opportunity to go harder from the top.
Uh, I think it's a collective failure. If you look at the numbers of Bairstow as well, he hasn't performed so far. So we can't pinpoint at a one batter. The only way they need to survive in this IPL will be their strong suit, which is the batting. So they need to strengthen that department, because you can't expect Punjab Kings bowlers, even if you include extra bowler like Nathan Elias or someone like Ishan Poral or anyone from that department into the playing 11, you can't expect them to win the games. But if you include guys like Rajapaksha or some other batter and strengthen their batting, then they can win you games. So I believe that is the way forward. And if you look similar way, this Sunrisers has done that, because their strong suit is their bowling. So they have invested on Marco Jansen. Earlier they played with Mario Shepard. They tried to strengthen their lower order, but it wasn't working for first few matches. Then they invested on Marco Jansen, and he has been delivering with the ball, in the power play, in the middle overs, etc. So I think they need to go with the similar path, include Rajapaksha or as one of the batters, and that will be releasing the pressure of other openers on that base of factor as well. So they can play more freely. But right now, they are trying too many things and they don't have the depth as well. Like you can't expect Rabada to be the number 7 in IPL. Same similar way Kolkata as well. Like Pat Cummins is batting at number 7. There is no depth as well. Like even though Rahul Chahar has performed well as a batter in domestic etc., but you can't expect him to do in IPL. So I believe they should be strengthening the batting moving forward to the IPL.
Sandeep, when I come into, they've been talking about, everybody has been pitching about strengthening the batting. You reckon even their bowling, does it have the pedigree to, restrict teams to 140, 150 and even bleaker batting in order to even chase scores down? Because if you look at the bowling attack, Rabada hasn't really come into the party this season, or if you look at the last couple of seasons as well, he's been off color for quite a long while in limited overs cricket at least. And if you look at Arshdeep Singh, he's been economical, but he's not been up there with the wickets. Vaibhav Arora had one good game against Chennai Super Kings. Since then, he's been on and off, on and off. Rahul Chahar has been only their one bowler who has delivered them in the middle overs as well. You reckon they've got the bowling attack which can penetrate through batting attack, even if they had to, strengthen their bowling attack? Or if it is a case of batting, who should be coming in?
No, I think whatever Jones and Nikhil said, I think I completely agree with it. First, they have to strengthen their batting, because if you can't put up a good score to defend, then how do you expect the bowlers to defend it? No matter who is playing, say even a Kagiso Rabada or a Rahul Chahar or Arshdeep Singh, they need at least in the last 10 overs, you at least have to give them 100, 110 to at least defend such scores. But for Punjab Kings, we have seen that most of the games, first of all, they are not winning the tosses. So we are seeing that most of the games they are setting the score, and when their opposition is chasing, we can see that in the first 10 overs, Vaibhav Arora is bowling 2 to 3 overs in the power play. They are saving 3 overs of Arshdeep in the last 10, but only the opposition needs only 70 or 80 odd runs in the last 10 overs. So they are not being able to put the pressure in the early stages with the ball. That is because they don't have a good enough score on the board, and their tactical decision. I don't understand that. If you are keeping your main bowlers for the end, you need to have some runs to defend it. Otherwise, the batting team what they're doing is they're just playing off Arshdeep. So they're just scoring 7, 8 runs of Arshdeep's over, and they're just waiting for that fifth bowling option or the fourth bowling option, where Vaibhav Arora will come back for a spell, or say Odin Smith or Liam Livingston was doing it in the last few games. In this game, say Nathan Ellis, but you don't expect Nathan Ellis. I don't think even bringing in Nathan, Jones rightly pointed out, bringing in Nathan Ellis or say Ishan Podel, Sandeep Sharma, or Rishi Dhawan, you can't expect them to defend the scores that they have been putting up.
Right, absolutely. I'm getting Nikhil now. I'll ask you something very tricky out here. We've seen it over the years with Punjab. It's been a case. It's been a pattern with them. They start out well. They deceive people by saying that they have a team to go all the way. But yet again, come the mid tournament, they fall off somewhere through their tactical calls, which make people baffled, saying that why would you change a winning combination, or whether it is today where they had to strengthen a particular position, they strengthened rightly the opposite one. You reckon it has been a pattern with the team, and what should be this team doing? Because last year also you saw a lot of flag being thrown at the management, especially the coaching staff, for some of the calls they did, but they've not seemed to have learned anything from it, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe next year they can try changing another logo, and they can try whoever wins the IPL this year, they'll try and copy their jersey colors, because that is what matters. Name matters. How many S you have in the team matters. Whether you are called ABC or CBA, that is what's more important. Tactics and all, it's not important to an IPL team in 2022. So again, it is not trying to to put a blame or disrespect someone, but
Yeah,
it
you're
is just
absolutely right.
so
There is
it is
we
just
don't have
blatantly obvious.
to be straightforward here. Yeah.
Yeah, it is just being blatantly obvious that you're not fixing anything. I still think they have a very, very good squad. This is probably one of the best. Obviously, everybody will have their own flaws, but I thought this is still their best chance to really put in a very good squad and then use them very well. But as you
Right.
said, some of the calls are so baffling that you don't understand what are they trying to achieve with the way they are trying to pull. As Sandeep Bhani rightly said, now you have a Sandeep Sharma, you used him as a death overs bowler in the first game, and then you dropped him, saying he didn't do anything bad. Then why do you drop him? Why do you first use the player wrongly, and then you have to take him out of the side? Use the players where they are more suited. Someone like Nishan Porel has been with the squad since so long, but he hardly gets games. How are you going to even, because if you talk about franchise that are successful, there is a Mumbai, there is a Chennai. Why are they successful? You can associate names with them. You can tell that okay, this guy is made at Mumbai, this guy is made at Bangalore. Bangalore also has names. KL Rahul, all successes come from Bangalore. What has Punjab given to the IPL in all these years? It's just comedy. That is their biggest contribution, that you're not able to assemble a good unit, and for once that you have it, you're not able to use it well. So again, it's not that they don't understand it. I don't know what is it that is stopping them from correcting those calls. Something like as John said, your strength is batting. Why would you not just focus on that and try to fix too many things? And as
Right.
Sandeep Pandey also rightly said, you are saving best bowlers for the end, but the game is not even going till the end. So it is great to have a mindset, great to be aggressive, refreshing, but walk the talk. Just use your resources well, and that is not on the players. It's not the players' fault if you choose them wrongly or play them in the wrong rules. They are going to try what they do best. So
Right.
again, still looking forward to a name change next year.
Absolutely. Jones, coming to you, of course, as Nikhil rightly mentioned, keeping things simple is one of the hardest things in IPL. That's one of the reasons why two of the franchises have been very successful by keeping things very simple. Now, going ahead in the IPL, let's look at them. What should be they doing? Because should they change the batting order slightly, bring Mayank at number three, or should they go to a plan B approach where they feel, Shikhar, you anchor the innings, then possibly Mayank can also play the aggressive role, and whoever comes in can take it on from there, or just go to a approach where they believe we will take off from the last death overs. Because if you look at the pattern what they've got in the last 5 games, 6 games, they've lost 8 to 7 wickets by the time they reach the death overs, and that's one of the reasons why in the death overs their scoring rate has been the worst in this IPL so far. What do you reckon should be they doing?
I think first of all they need to strengthen the batting, which is the strength. And if you look at the dynamics or structure of the batting, like their openers, especially Shikhar Dhawan, need to stay till the 10th over or 15th over. If you look at the squad, like Bairstow, Livingston, Jiddish Sharma, Shah Rukh Khan, if they play Rajapakshe or Odean Smith, etc., they can play at a strike rate of 140, 150, 150, etc. So that is where the role of Shikhar Dhawan comes really handy. If he can perform really well and consistently and bat till the 10th over and 15th over, that will be putting that solidity in the batting as well, and that will be helping them to score continuously 200 plus as well. So
Right.
I think Shikhar Dhawan's form has backfired them so badly. They have invested a lot on Shikhar Dhawan as well. They expected a lot on Shikhar Dhawan. Like what he did for Delhi Capital last 3 years. He has been like a run machine, like 600 plus, 500 plus, etc. If Shikhar can produce that, then Punjab Kings can come out of difficult position. But the issue is that Shikhar is not scoring, and Bairstow is having a tough time as well. So both of them are coming. Both of the issues came together, and that has put lots of pressure on, especially because they don't have that depth as well. Like some of the other franchises, if you look at Delhi Capital, they have Akshar Patel, Thakur, etc. Number 7, number 8, etc. If you look at other a few franchises as well, like now they have got Jason Holder, Marcus Stoinis, Krunal Pandya, Deepak Hooda, etc. Till number 7, number 8, etc. So most of successful sides had that, but Punjab Kings does not have that. So that is where
Right.
the importance of Shikhar Dhawan comes more importantly to this Punjab Kings batting unit.
True. Of course, we have analyzed a lot about Punjab Kings, and there's nothing more to talk because these kind of tactical blunders are not expected from an IPL level team. Let's talk about a team who was adversely affected before this game, and you never knew this team was going to even turn up to the ground because Punjab was the first team to arrive in the ground, and they didn't even see Delhi Capitals turn up. So all of a sudden, they were like, "Whether this match will go on?" But then, boy, didn't they turn up, and they really wanted a point to prove. Did you reckon that this the adversity what they were facing was a motivation, especially today? Because a character like Ricky Ponting would have definitely might have told in the dressing room, "Let's do it for our pals who's there suffering from COVID. Let's go out there and show the world what we are capable of," isn't it?
So it is surely a good sign for the team that not that somebody is getting positive. Hopefully, the health of everybody is fine. But the fact that sometimes something that was said on the air as well. Sometimes these situations binds the team much together. You can just have that extra push. But again, how much of it is true or not, we can only assume from the outside. The team will know much better being the part of it. So again, Ricky Ponting is a strong character, and Delhi, as we know, they have the people in their ranks to put in a good show. Again, it is the same problem with that Delhi that you had with Punjab of usage of resources. Even today, you could see some calls were very weird, but they worked out because eventually the other team made too many mistakes. So in T20s, you can have such days where you can make lesser mistakes while because the other team is making too many mistakes, so you end up winning. But today, I think this was just the kind of performance you want when you're going through such time as a unit. Such kind of wins give you a lot of confidence. They could have easily won this inside 8 overs with 10 wickets in hand. So this is
Right.
probably the ideal game you want, and to do that with limited amount of resources, I think it will help Delhi come together, and hopefully they can now start going positively ahead.
Absolutely. Sandipani, one area which Delhi would have been slightly worried would have been about Akshar Patel's bowling form. But then today and even the last game, he did come out well and he's looking like he's back to his best, bowling those tight lines, even now varying his pace pretty much. And now all of a sudden you look at Delhi, you have a Kuldeep Yadav, Akshar Patel's 8 overs, which can become very tight for opposition to face, isn't it?
Yeah, Akshay Patel has always been economical in IPL. Not just in IPL, Akshay Patel is when you talk about Akshay Patel, you usually associate him with being economical rather than a wicket taker. Uh, it's like if you talk about RR, Chahal is the wicket taker and Ashwin is the economical bowler. Like similarly for Delhi Capitals, Akshay Patel is the economical bowler and Kuldeep Yadav is the wicket taker. And Kuldeep Yadav has been in phenomenal form this season. I mean,
Right.
today also he bowled exceptionally well. Also, Akshay Patel was not at his best in the first few games, but I think he has been he has been coming back to form with the ball as well. Like he contributed with the bat in the first few games, and then in the last few games he has been contributing well with the ball. So
Right.
that's what an all-rounder gives you, and he has done it for DC in the past seasons as well, and that's why he was one of the retained players. They trusted him to come good when they needed him when they need him, and he has been coming good for them. So
Right.
I think all in all, Delhi Capitals will be feeling very confident. I personally, I expected Delhi. If I expected any team to crumble, I expected DC to crumble today, not Punjab Kings, because they were the ones facing all the adversities, all the problems of Corona, in the bio bubble. All the problems were in the Delhi camp. I don't know. I think just Punjab Kings was not expecting to play today. That will probably be the
It
only
was just
reason
a
why they played
gesture.
like that.
It was probably a sweet gesture from Punjab sent to Delhi saying that, let's just gift you this, considering the situation. Jones, coming to you now. Of course, they have a gun baller like Andre Nokia who's waiting in the wings for Delhi Capitals as well. But if you look at Mustafizur Rahman, he's not done anything bad as well, except that 1 over which he bowled to Dinesh Karthik, and Dinesh Karthik is in his form of his life. You can just expect any bowler to go for those amount of runs. You reckon who will really make way if Andre Nokia is fit in the next game against Rajasthan Royals? You reckon someone like Mustafa should make way, or can they fit in on Vic Nokia because they just played three overseas today?
I think it depends on when Nokia will be fit. By then, which department is the weekend? Like, if their bowling is weekend, then they might try out Fissa and Nokia. But if their batting is weak, then they might invest on a youngster and drop Fissa as well. So it all depends on when that time comes in. Like, we can't expect Nokia to play the next game. Like, even Shane Watson told other day that he is getting fitter, but he's not match ready right now. So it all depends on when Nokia can be fit, and during that time, which is the area of concern for Delhi Capitals, whether it is batting or whether it's bowling. So right now, I believe it's tough to tell.
Right. That's a good point. Nikhil, coming to you. Last time also we did speak about Nokia being rushed into play. You reckon that was a wrong call by Delhi Capitals looking at the future of the tournament because many IPL teams do get desperate with their X factor players to get fit on time and get on the field. You reckon just putting him against that game against Sunrisers Hyderabad was a mistake now looking back at it?
Yeah, of course, in hindsight, definitely yes, because it has cost them more than one game now. But again, as John said, I do feel a lot of teams this year are making plenty of mistakes in terms of how they're using people. But again, it's been such kind of a tournament where teams have not quite been able to find. I mean, the two best teams in this tournament are struggling to put out a good 11 on the par. So it just tells
Right.
you how tough the competition has been, and which is why teams are desperate for the wins. Something that we talked about even in that Lucknow game, that you held back a Marcus and a Jason Holder for too long. Some days you send a Holder at 4K, Gotham at 3. So teams are trying things, which is a good sign. It tells you that people want to try out, as opposed to teams are not wanting to try anything and do what they had decided in their previous yesterday's call. So hopefully Nokia is fit enough because Delhi need him. They need him to climb the ladder later in the tournament. I think even after today's win, they are where they are only. But for them to climb the ladder to catch up to Lucknow, Gujarat, and Bangalore, they will need Nokia back. But otherwise, they will need someone like a Shardul or a Fitz to really hit form. Because Kuldeep has done his job, Aksar has done his job, and that way you still have good spin to rely on, but your pacers will have to come together as a unit because Khalil is also done well. So it's just about Shardul and Fizz getting back to wickets, both with a new ball and then at the death overs.
Right. Well, Jones, last question before we call it a day. Sarfraz Khan batted number three, and number three has been a position for Delhi Capitals, which has been worrying now if you look at their past few games. You reckon that's an ideal position for him to come in because, considering now Mitchell Marsh might take time for recovery, and also Tim Seifert is also now affected with COVID-19. Yeah, Sarfraz can possibly build himself a number three and establish himself, isn't it?
Yes, I think it will be the ideal position for Safras, especially Shah and Warner used to give that start. Like if you look at most of the games, the first wicket has been fallen at the sixth over or seventh over or eighth over. So that time spinners will be bowling, and that is where Safras will be more dangerous. So Safras plus Rishabh Pant can be a really a good combo in that 7 to 15 phase. So I believe that will be the better space for him. I don't think he is ideal for finishing. Especially we have seen Riyan Barak struggling as well. Like his ideal position is number three, number four, but he has been invested at number six and he has been struggling in the IPL. So I
Right.
don't want that to happen for Sofras as well. So I believe this is the way forward for Delhi Capitals. Like 7 to 15 phase will be by Sofras plus Rishabh Pant, and Rockman Ball will be coming after the 16th over. Especially he can play the pace so well. So I believe that will be the better combination for Delhi Capitals moving forward.
Absolutely, and that should be the ideal one as well, as we've all discussed through the course of this tournament. Now, talking about it, let's talk about off-field performance today. I bet with one team absolutely capitulating for a very low score, we can expect the off-field performance also to affect really badly. Let's ask Nikhil, how did your day go in the fantasy team?
It was just like Punjab down the hill. You can see it from my video. It stuck just like Punjab's performance today. So yeah, I had a okay day, saved by Shaw, Warner, and the Delhi bowlers. But yeah, my captain was Livingston, and I was just down the track just like him, stranded midway.
Yeah, it's always risky keeping a Punjab player as your captain because they're very, very unpredictable. Let's come to Sandeepani. Sandeepani, how did your day go, yaar?
I had a good, not a good, actually a okay day. I also had Livingston and Dhawan in my team. Dhawan was
Yeah.
my vice captain. Warner was my captain. So I got I got a lot of points from Warner. Also, I did not have Akshar Patel in my team. I don't know why, because probably I thought Shardul Thakur would come good today. But it's okay. I had a good day overall because I had Warner as my captain, and that gave me a lot of points.
Jones, did you try your hand in the fantasy sports yet?
No, I haven't tried.
That's okay. I mean, soon I hope you will, being spending a lot of time with us. Soon you will be pepped up by Nikhil at least to try the hand. Of course, you can try Boomer 11. It's totally free to play. Nikhil, coming to you. How is it? I'm just gonna hand over to you to talk about the course because you will have these kind of bad days, isn't it?
Yes.
And how do you recover from it? How do you get the motivation to go next day? Because we compare fantasy cricket a lot with the on the field performance as well. But you need to have the motivation stating that okay, I can have a bad day today, but tomorrow maybe I can have better days. And how do you set a perfect mindset to go for the next days and better days to come? And I know you're taking a course on that. Can you explain our viewers about it?
Yes, so again, very glad that every day we are getting very good examples to talk about the same topic, that is how to be in profit in fantasy cricket. So days like today are the days where you have to think that did you lose the game because of your mistake or did the team play horribly wrong? If you took a risk on a Akshar Patel or a Prithvi Shaw or a David Warner, then it is your mistake. But I lost because I punted on Shikhar, Mayank, Livingston, Rabada, and Nitin Ellis to come good. So it is okay. I can have an off day. Teams can have an off day. So I'm not going to beat myself on it because it was an off day for the everybody who backed the key players. So it is not something that is in my control. Yes, had I not taken David Warner or Prithvi Shaw, then I would have been like, okay, that is my mistake. So identifying why you have bad days is the most critical aspect of fantasy cricket because that is what motivates you for the next day. Because if you know
Right.
that you are not the ones at fault, then you automatically have that inspiration that okay, you'll do well in the other game. Like even just now, there is a T10 game that's going on, and I'll cover whatever I played in IPL from that game. So that is what life is all about. You're going to have ups and downs, but you have to be able to find balance in that and learn from it every day because that is
Right.
what is going to help you prepare better and make better teams in the future. So I can
Absolutely.
already see a lot of positive messages for people that now they're loving the process more, and that is what it's all about. As MS said, it's all about the processes and not much about the results.
Absolutely. And process, trusting your ability, momentum, all this might be cliche for you, but then these are all, some of the most important words when it comes to, having success in whatever you do. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining. It was great talking to you. And of course, as Nikhil said, if you do not want to lose a lot of money, one platform you can, of course, head on to is Boomer 11 because there's zero financial risk with Boomer 11 and where you can absolutely earn many, many gifts. And this IPL win price is worth up to $5,000. I am playing on it. Sandeepan is playing on it. We all are playing on it. So do not miss out on the chance soon. Jones also will be playing on it. So we're pushing him a little bit, pepping him. Thank you, gentlemen. I hope we will have better days to come, especially as
Yeah.
cricket viewers. We do not want early
Yeah.
finishes. We're certainly not like those kids at school, right? Where we want to come back early. Of course, we want matches which go super over. I'm predicting the El Clasico to be a super over. Let's hope that happens at least. Thank you, gentlemen.
El Clasico, more like 10th spot knockout.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.